Hey, dear Tyler. Good morning. How are you? I hope you're good, and I hope you're doing really, really fine. Thank you so much for all the engagement so far. It's been very, very encouraging. Thank you so much. I'm deeply grateful. Yeah, and it's the last day of the month, right? So we're ending May. May happen to be a very long month. I don't know why. And June seems to want to have that same 5 week thing to it. But yeah, I'm grateful to God for a lot of things. May was eventful for me, stretched my faith, got some amazing rewards. There was a lot of personal transformation that happened to me. Things just changed. I could say that, yeah, I had a deeper walk with God, something that I'm still working on. But I think my relationship with God this month was the best in a while, which is really, really good. And yeah, I think dear Tyler is doing well, optimistic about the future of dear Tyler and all. So yeah, I'm happy. And I hope you're also feeling, fulfilled. So I eventually did get to meet the person I was talking about. That was like 2 episodes before, right? I think that was in Mustard Seed Faith. Yeah, I made mention of it. Able to see the person, and I'm grateful that I saw the person. So if you're listening, thank you for showing up again. I am really, really grateful. God bless you. Thank you for showing up on Sunday. It was really encouraging. And because of that little 1 minute encounter that I had with the lady, really kind of like inspired or is inspiring this particular episode, right? And the title of this episode is Show Up. Now, while I was having a conversation with her, apologized about everything that happened, the whole details that I narrated during that episode, right? So apologized and we're talking and all. Just asked a few questions. Which episode did she enjoy? She mentioned it and all. And I think one of the last statements that she made, she said that please don't starve us, right? So like paraphrasing. It's like, don't starve us, don't keep us waiting for, episodes to come out, maybe like, I don't know. Don't starve us, exactly. So don't keep us in a point where, okay, you give us one episode today and then we don't get to hear from you another time. Definitely the lessons being learned, and maybe it's like a familiar voice, so kind of like that voice of encouragement that they need for the week and everything. And as I was just heading home and I was just thinking about the whole thing, your podcast is actually a big deal to some people, right? So this podcast thing that you're doing, dear Tyler, is really a big deal to some people. And the sad thing, or will I call it sad? No, the thing about it is that you may never get to know the people that are being blessed by what you're doing, right? Being blessed by what you're doing. And, so I just got home, really just grateful to God about the fact that, okay, this stuff that I started 4 or 5 years ago is really, really blessing people. Now, I don't have the traction that I want, I'm human, and it's really nice to see how you're racking up views and gaining attention and all of that. I'm not going to deny it, and I'm not going to say it doesn't move me. It moves me. I want it, right? And I think I would really like it to happen. But it does not negate the fact that there are other people that are really, placing value on the whole podcast thing. So, I was just grateful to God, just, came back home, laid down, and just thanked the Lord. I was like, Lord, thank you for all that you're doing in dear Tyler. And I just thought it, good to post some of the older episodes that I'd done. And I think there's this episode that I did my audience, my stage or something. something about my audience. And then somebody enters, just chats me up and says this has become his favorite episode. Now, this is somebody that works with, we serve together in Koinonia here in Abuja, and he's part of the security department. And he said, oh, that's one of his favorite episodes. And I'm like, wait, you listen to Dear Tyler? And I was like, yes, he follows it a lot. And I'm like, okay, so there are a lot of people that follow Dear Tyler that I am absolutely unaware of. Right? Now, this is going to be a very vulnerable episode because I'm going to just share some contemplations that I've had, over time. It was surprising to me because within my mind, I have a certain select group of people that I expect to, listen to Dear Tyler, right? So maybe we're very close friends. We are, maybe we have, a very strong bond when it comes to the level of friendship. Maybe being in the same department, maybe at work, or maybe serving in the same department in church. There are just some people that, in my mind, I just felt like, okay, if anybody's going to help push what Dear Tyler represents, it's going to be these people. So the first shocker is that the person that introduced this other person, that's the lady, right, is not even in my department. And I think I will try and find out who that person is because I need to tell the person thank you. Only God knows how this person probably keeps on listening to Dear Tyler, and I do not know. But my referral came from somebody that was not even within my circle, or I presume not within my circle. But there are people within my circle, people within my reach, people that I feel that if my podcast ever goes to their WhatsApp status, or they ever repost it on their Instagram stories, or they make that reference, or they tag me or tag Dear Tyler on Facebook or any of these social media platforms and all, right? That I know that I'm going to get a lot of recognition for it. And so sometimes you expect those certain set of people to do it, and for me it was a little bit it used to get me wary, to be honest, because there'll be times where you'd make a post and all your 1,000 contacts on WhatsApp, they see it and nobody reposts, nobody does anything, and it kind of like makes you feel a little bit bad and questioning whether what you're doing is of value and all of that. There's nothing wrong with the people, right? So I needed to just put that out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the people. The truth is that you will always go, or you will always stand for what you find value in, right? Those are the things that you would publicly, express value for, or something like that. And the fact that certain people do not, maybe share your things and all, is not an indication that what you're doing is not valuable, right? Yes, it may not just be something that they need at the moment. It's not something that is relevant for their season, and that's it. And it's absolutely okay. So it's not that they're bad or anything. So I'm not complaining. I'm not angry with anybody. No. Right. So I just needed to put that out. Now, so like I was saying, expecting all of that to happen. Put it out there, and it didn't come from there. It didn't come from there. Just thinking about it, and because it can be quite disheartening. So I get to see the metrics of Dear Tyler, and sometimes it can be extremely hilarious. Like in a whole week, you'll just see like 4 views, and in your mind, you're like kind of like calculating, okay, which of my 4 friends probably listen to this? Which of my 4 friends probably listen to this? And it can put you in a very terrible place, a very terrible spot. And then you now become a little bit vindictive. So you go over, when you're around your circle of friends, you want to see which person is going to make a reference to your podcast, so that you can take, okay, this is one of the faithful 4 listeners, this is one of the faithful 6 listeners, and all of that. And you go to, within your circle of friends, and then you guys are having a conversation, and then Dear Tyler never pops up out of them at all. So you just know at that point in time that, okay, they probably didn't listen to it. Right? And it's, like I said, it's disheartening. And sometimes for me, and like I said, I'm being honest, those are some of the things that I experienced that somehow brought a level of discouragement to me, because I was so focused on what was before me, so focused with the people around me, hoping that they find value in the things that I am doing at this time, and totally ignoring the other people that are being blessed. So if my 4 friends, or if the 4 people that listen to Dear Tyler are not my friends, isn't it still worth it for me to show up for those 4 people? Because whatever, I don't think there is a week that I ever release Dear Tyler that nobody listens to it. And that's the truth. There's not a week that it happens. In fact, there were periods where I did not release any episode, and maybe like a 2-week, 3-week period, and people still listened to Dear Tyler. They still listened to it. So even in my silence, somebody found value in what I was bringing. So isn't that enough for me to show up for them? So you can see why what that lady said to me was extremely, extremely touching, because at that point in time, if she did not, come up and meet me and tell me, okay, that she follows the podcast and all, I would have never gotten that information, right? I would not be privileged enough to know that, okay, this is how this particular podcast is blessing an individual's life. So every time I don't show up, every time that I don't come up with an episode, every time that I use the excuse or the things that I'm going through, or how I don't feel like I'm relevant, or I am starving a set of people that have found value in me and in the things that I do. And it's unfair that some other people suffer because of my insecurities. Let me put it pop and plain. Somebody is finding so much value in what I am doing, but because of my insecurities and my obsession for recognition, right, I am robbing off people from something that they do enjoy and they value. So, throughout the week, I was just thinking about it, and I told myself, I said, I have to, this is me now speaking, I have to do everything within my power to show up for people that listen to Dear Tyler. Now, does it mean that I'm saying that, you have to live for people? No, you're not living for people. You make decisions out of the purity of your heart. You make decisions because it's what you want to do, and you found purpose and value for it, right? The mistake that many of us, make is that we do things for people in the hopes that they will do it for us too. It's okay to expect, or to have that open heart to expect people to do things for you, but it should never be the motivating factor for why you do things, right? So I'm not saying live for people, but if there are people that have unapologetically shown up for you, unapologetically shown you how much they value what you do, those people are worth every sacrifice that you can make to show up for them too. It's worth it. I had to tell myself that if it's one person that listens to Dear Tyler, it means that Dear Tyler is having an impact on that one person. And the day I don't show up, I'm betraying that person. Do you understand? I'm betraying that person. Do I anticipate the days that I'm going to have hundreds and millions of listens and views? Yes, I will. Oh no, I deeply anticipate it. And I know that it's coming very soon. One thing that I know is that, from all of this, because I'm reading the message behind the lines, right? God is taking Dear Tyler to heights that I cannot even see. He's taking it to places that I do not even know. right? So there are people that listen to this podcast that I'm not seeing, that I don't get to know, that I don't get to interact with. So it means that its reach is spreading. And one day, right, it will spread now, far enough, for a proper community to come, and then, build that level of consistency. There are some people I would have never been able to convince to listen to Dear Tyler. Where would I see them? Do you get? I would have never been able to convince them to do that. So, the people that show up are worthy, right, of my showing up for them too. So I'm not living for them, but they have shown me so much honor and place so much value in the things that I do. I remember one video I was watching on Instagram, and it was the video of a child at his, I think, recital or one of these children plays and all of that. And the child was very sulky, not really participating at all. And somehow the child just cited one of his parents, so maybe the mom, dad, or maybe sibling. And the moment the child cited that person, there was this joy that kind of just sprung up in the heart of that child, and the child just started participating, being very expressive. And everybody was like, "Oh, okay, what's up? What's happening?" They were like, "Oh, probably saw one of his, family members and all." And it revealed to me the power of showing up. The power of showing up. I'm privileged to be a leader in a very blessed ministry, and a lot of my people usually have concerts, usually have live recordings and all of that, and God is doing amazing things through Koinonia worship team on a global scale, right? So not just in Abuja, but God is raising people in Zaria. God is doing great things in Canada. I was just looking at I was online recently, found out that one of our guys that was with us from Zaria to Abuja and moving down to Canada, was in one of the major guests for I think a meeting with Steve Crown in Canada, so basically like headlining it. It was just, a very beautiful thing. And then the worship team in UK, people, God is just building, people giving them expressions, and then the likes of my head of department, did his live recording recently. Content is coming out soon. My music director, David Dam, songs blessing the world, other people like K-Strings, and then people within the worship team in Abuja, God is really, really doing great and marvelous things. So it's a privilege for me. And I've seen that there are many times where I do not have the financial capacity to be able to contribute to such projects. But I've seen how elated they are whenever I can just make it for the meeting. Just show up, just be there. Let it be that sign of encouragement. Your showing up shows how much value you also place in me as a person. And I've seen how it has impacted, some of them, and really, Tyler, that's how life is, right? There are things that you just need to show up for. There are people that you just need to show up for. They have paid the price. They have done all that is deserving of your commitment to them. They've done all. There are people that consistently share Dear Tyler on their WhatsApp status, right? There are people that go to their groups, they share it. There are people that listen to Dear Tyler with their family members. So maybe their family members are 10, but they're using one phone. So one listen is actually 10 people listening. But they're consistent. There are people that send in their reviews. I spoke about people like Chumi that, took out time to share Dear Tyler. Got a friend, Marv, she shares it too. I've got other people, PJD. There are a lot of people that keep on, sharing all of these things. Come on. These people they've qualified, for my commitment. Really qualified for my commitment. In as much as you do not live for people, in as much as your motivating factor is not to please people, right? There are people that you just need to show up for. So, I'm tired, stressed from the week. It's been back-to-back things at work, presentations, assignments, here and there, handling quite a lot of things that need to be done. But the reminder of the people that find value in the things that I do, especially when it comes to Dear Tyler, got me up and said, nope, I'm going to prepare an episode for them. And I'm going to be intentional about preparing episodes so that I will give myself no excuse for not showing up. Give myself no excuse for not showing up. Tyler, this is my encouragement for you. I'm sorry that, I tried to look for a scripture, maybe I could use the scripture, iron sharpeneth iron. If somebody is, sharpening or fanning the embers or the flames of your value, then the only thing you can do is to use that flame that you're burning with to warm them in their cold moments. It's show up for those people. Don't live for people. Don't live for people in general, right? But then don't get so caught up in trying to hit certain targets, to enter into certain places, to reach certain audiences, that you miss out on the present audience that cherishes you with their heart. Oh no. This, like I said, this past week has shown me that there are people that are really worth it. There are people worth listening to. There are people worth my talk, and all of that. There are people worth the sacrifice and the time, preparation and everything. So think about it in your life. Who are the people that have shown up for you, that effortlessly have shown how much value they place in you? That when you come around their presence, it's not difficult for you to decipher how they feel about you. That they can mention the precious things that pertain to you. I don't talk about Dear Tyler so much, and I think I have to change that, right? I don't talk about Dear Tyler so much, I think I have to change that. But there are people that talk about it a lot. Now, come on. So if somebody, and Dear Tyler is a big deal to me. So if I find people like that, why can't I show up for them? Think about the people that effortlessly express value. You feel it. You're not in question of it. You're not second guessing it and thinking, hey, is it? It's very clear to you that these people place a great level of value on you. Show up for them. Show up for your destiny. Show up for your future. Show up for your future. Show up for your spouse. Show up for your children. There are things that you are doing. Every action that you do, every action that you take is a reflection, right, of the value you place on the people that will benefit from it. So if I learn frugality, if I learn discipline, if I'm able to build up myself in the proper mindset, as God helps us to establish ourselves financially and all of that, there are people that are benefiting from it. My wife's going to benefit from it. Our kids are going to benefit from it. The community is going to benefit from it, right? And then my society in general is going to benefit from it. So there are things that are worth showing up for. There are people worth showing up for. And I really hope that you will show up for them. And then, most importantly, to end it, please show up for yourself. Place so much value in you. Place so much value in the things that you do and the things that you carry that it motivates you enough to show up for yourself. That if maybe tomorrow the people that hold Dear Tyler so dear to their hearts seem to lose interest in it, that I have found value in the things that I do, that they motivate me enough to show up. So there's always a balance point to all of this. But the most important thing, or the emphasis in this episode right now, Tyler, is show up. Remember why you are doing certain things. Think about the people that benefit from it and those that will benefit from your discipline and your consistency. It may be difficult, it may be hard, it may be challenging, it may not always be convenient. But the reward in seeing that people are being blessed and being changed because of your sacrifice is beyond satisfactory. Trust me on that. So yeah, I really do hope that this episode blessed you. I hope I wasn't rambling too much about Dear Tyler, which I would start doing a lot. I'm going to be more vocal about Dear Tyler and all, right? But I hope that it really blessed you, right? So please do how to share Dear Tyler with others, engage with us on our social media. I'm trying to build certain things to make it a lot more engaging. Yeah, and so this is me signing out, Tyler. Remember that I love you, I believe in you, and I'm always, always rooting for you. Bye.